Let us dispense with the saccharine nonsense and the grand pronouncements. We are not here to talk of happiness or fulfillment as if they were commodities to be purchased. We are here to talk of endurance, of how a man with a modicum of intellect and a fragile sense of dignity might navigate a world teeming with fools, frauds, and inescapable suffering. The so-called self-help industry, with its cheerful platitudes, is a racket for the gullible. Instead, let us turn to the Stoics, those ancient, clear-eyed realists who knew that life is at its core a test of character. What follows is not a prescription for joy, but a defense against utter ruin. It is a set of principles for a decent soul, struggling to maintain his composure in a world that seems intent on stripping him of it. The delusion of the common man. He believes he can dictate the weather, the whims of his wife, or the stock market. He flails and rages, a comical little puppet pulling his own strings while the universe laughs. The wise man, by contrast, observes this spectacle with a weary detachment. He knows that his true domain is a tiny, fragile fortress. His own thoughts, his own actions, his own judgments. Everything else, the gossip of neighbors, the decrees of corrupt officials, the relentless march of time, is but a passing storm. To fret over them is the mark of a simpleton. A man of substance focuses his meager energy on the few things he can truly manage, leaving the rest to the gods, or to fate, or to whatever malicious force orchestrates this tedious play. The optimists, with their incurable optimism, call it amor fati, love your fate. What a romantic notion. Let's be more precise. It's not love, but a grim, necessary acceptance. When a rotten situation befalls you, the loss of a fortune, the betrayal of a friend, a persistent cough, the weak man wails, "Why me?" The man of character with a wry smile simply says, "Well, here it is. Every misfortune is a lesson, a bitter brew, be swallowed without complaint." The sting of failure teaches you more than a lifetime of easy success. A broken heart reveals the true nature of human affection, which is to say, its profound unreliability. So when life hands you a tragedy, don't pretend to like it. Just accept it as a new, unavoidable chapter in a dreary novel and learn from it. In a world where men are bought and sold for a few hundred piastres, where honor is a forgotten word, and where ambition often means little more than a willingness to debase oneself, what is left? Only virtue, not the false, theatrical virtue of the preacher or the politician, but the quiet, internal rectitude of a man who knows what is right. This virtue is your last possession. It is the unassailable fortress of your soul. Your money can be stolen, your reputation can be slandered, your health can fail. But your courage in the face of injustice, your fairness in dealing with others, your moderation in all things, these are yours to keep. Do not trade them for anything, for what good is a full belly if your soul is empty? The common folk, with their simple minds, avoid thinking about death or poverty. They live in a pleasant, if temporary, stupor. The Stoic, however, is a realist. He deliberately contemplates the worst. He imagines the day his house burns down, his savings vanish, his family abandons him. He does not do this to torture himself, but to inoculate himself against shock. By imagining ruin, he realizes it is not the end of the world. It is simply another scene in the tiresome play. When the actual disaster strikes, he will not be paralyzed by terror. He will have already considered the possibilities and prepared himself to act. A man prepared for the storm is not afraid of the first drop of rain. We take our good fortune for granted as if it were a permanent fixture of the universe. We have a roof over our heads, food on our table, a decent set of lungs, and we complain about the small things. The Stoic, knowing he is living on borrowed time, sees things differently. He performs an exercise in, quote, negative visualization. He wakes each morning and imagines a life without the things he has. What if his wife were gone? What if his legs no longer worked? What if his mind were to fail him? By performing this small, morbid mental exercise, he learns a profound truth. His life, with all its minor frustrations, is a staggering gift. He is not grateful for what he has, so much as he is acutely aware of what he could lose. It is a sobering but clarifying form of gratitude. Every man must face it, the rich man, the beggar, the beautiful woman, the ugly fool. All will one day lie rotting in the earth. The Stoics did not shy away from this fact. They embraced it. They used death as a whip, a constant reminder to cease their trivial pursuits and focus on what matters. Waste your time on frivolous gossip? Forget it. Put off telling a loved one what is in your heart? You might not have the chance to. Moro. Death is not an enemy to be vanquished. It is a stern but honest teacher. It reminds you that your time here is limited, and to squander it on foolishness is the greatest sin of all. We are creatures of emotion, prone to fits of passion and despair. The heart, with its wild and unpredictable impulses, is a poor master. The Stoic, by contrast, seeks to be governed by his mind, by reason. He sees emotions as a kind of madness, a temporary mental illness that distorts his perception of reality. When confronted with a difficult choice, he does not ask what his heart desires. He asks what reason dictates. What is the most logical, the most sensible, the most fair course of action? He understands that while the heart may lead to momentary pleasure, it almost always leads to long-term suffering. The modern man is soft. He cannot endure discomfort. He is a slave to luxury, addicted to pleasure, and terrified of inconvenience. The Stoic, with a quiet contempt for such weakness, daily practices hardship. He eats a plain meal when he could have a feast. He endures the cold when he could be warm. He denies himself a small comfort, not out of self-punishment, but out of self-mastery. He does this so that when fate inevitably strips him of his comforts, he will not feel their absence. He proves to himself that he is not a slave to his surroundings, that his happiness is not contingent on his possessions. He is, in essence, training for the inevitable collapse. The average man lives in a perpetual stupor, a haze of distractions and mindless routines. He eats without tasting, speaks without thinking, and sees without observing. The Stoic, with the sharp eye of a seasoned observer, practices mindfulness. He is present in every moment. He pays attention to his own thoughts, catching the foolish or malicious ones before they take root. He listens to the person speaking to him, truly listening. He notices the subtle beauty of a passing cloud or the texture of his own clothes. This practice is a form of spiritual discipline, a way of waking up from the collective dream and living life deliberately, moment by tedious moment. We are all interconnected, a tiresome and often unpleasant truth. The Stoic, for all his personal detachment, knows he is a part of this messy human family. He recognizes a duty to his fellow man, not out of sentimental affection, but out of a rational understanding that we must all work together to keep the world from falling into complete chaos. He extends his circle of concern beyond his own selfish desires. He acts with justice and compassion, not because he expects a reward, but because it is the right thing to do. The welfare of the community is not his primary concern, but he knows that his own peace depends on its basic functioning. It is a cynical form of altruism, perhaps, but a necessary one. Marcus Aurelius, the greatest of the Stoic emperors, wrote a journal to himself. He did not write it for an audience, but to keep himself honest. He confessed his faults, planned his actions, and recorded his observations. This practice is a crucial tool for any man who wishes to live with integrity. Each evening, take a pen and paper. Review your day. Where did you fail? Where did you lose your temper? Where did you act with weakness or stupidity? By confronting your flaws on paper, you rob them of their power. By planning your actions for the next day, you take back control. It is a brutal but necessary form of self-examination. We are all born into a world of endless folly, but every now and then, a truly great man emerges. A Socrates, an Epictetus, a Seneca. The Stoic looks to these figures not as idols, but as teachers. He asks himself, what would Socrates have done in this dreary situation? Or, how would Seneca have endured this insult? By seeking the guidance of these intellectual ghosts, he gives himself a standard to live up to. He is not trying to be a perfect copy of another man, but to borrow the bowls, wisdom. He knows that in the great battle against mediocrity, the ghosts of great men are the only allies he has.